We're with Mrs. Wickedcybertruck, aka Dani. We're continuing the San Joaquin series, and my boy Prez is back there. Prez?
It's not possible.
Okay. So we're on the way to Bakersfield. I wanted to do a FSD video with Dani to get to know her. She was next on the list. So, Miss Dani, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dani.
Usually the first question I like to ask, how did you get in the Tesla space and how did you meet the San Joaquin Valley team?
I got into the Tesla space because I worked for Toyota. I was their dealer trade driver. And we got a Tesla 2019 Model 3 on the lot. And I said, let me drive that. They said, okay. I took it home and bought it. So I was looking for groups in the area because technically I'm in Sacramento County, on the border of Sacramento County and San Joaquin County. And there was no active groups for Sacramento. There was just San Joaquin Valley. And so I wanted to take over the group, the NorCal Reno group that I saw that wasn't active. And everybody told me, well, you need to talk to Prez. You need to talk to Prez. So I talked to Prez and started harassing him about needing to get the NorCal Reno group up running, and he did his magic and got the group, and that's where we are now.
Shoot, how has it been for your family being in the Tesla space for this long? What has it done for you and your family?
Well, we used to be a all Toyota family. Now we have 4 Teslas, so I do not think either one of my girls, they're 22 and 24, I don't think either one of them will ever go back to a gas car.
Dang. So the whole family has Teslas?
Just about. I haven't convinced my husband to leave his Dodge Ram yet,
Yeah.
but he would prefer a daily driver as a Model X.
Oh. Yeah, Model X's are pretty nice. I mean, transitioning to that, Dani, like I always ask OG Tesla owners, like, how do you usually help people like go from gas to electric? Is there like a saying, or is there something that you normally say to those people that switch over?
Most of the time I just have people going, well, I can stop and get gas for 5 minutes, when I'm on a trip. And I'm like, okay, the next time you go on a trip, I want you to time that out. The minute you pull in and stop to the minute you pull out of that gas station, I want you to see how long it actually takes. And I go, because if you're traveling with kids, everybody's getting out. They're going to the bathroom. They're getting a drink. They're doing this. I go, and in that amount of time, you've now spent 15 minutes there. You could have charged up your whole car for a quarter of the price of the gas you just put in it and be on your way.
Facts.
No one ever in traveling just stops for 5 minutes because you don't stop that many times.
Yeah.
So, and then they finally stop and look at it that way. And I go, there's the reason for going for Tesla versus any of the other companies was the infrastructure's there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I bought a Toyota, the infrastructure's not there. Toyota doesn't have the knowledge and whatnot that Tesla has. They're just not there. No other company is there.
Yeah.
And when you go to look at, if you're wanting to go EV and you sit and you look at it, just all the benefits and the way that he planned out this whole LA route.
Yeah.
He thought ahead. And, I've driven across country now with Prez and some of the other guys, and we had no problem finding a place to stop. And, the first thing you got to learn is listen to the car. The car knows what it's doing.
Yep.
If it tells you to go a certain way, it's telling you to go a certain way for a reason. And if you decide that you're going to go your own way anyhow, you're going to probably come up to a closed road or construction or a broken supercharger. But
since you said you work for Toyota, do you think Tesla is the new Toyota in America for EVs?
I think they've taken over what Toyota and like Honda had a hold on.
Yeah.
As far as EV wise. There's just everybody's trying to compete. They can't. And Toyota knows they can't. Toyota knows they can't compete. So they're not even trying.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't come up with anything other than plug-in hybrids right now, which we've had for years, for a long time. But you know, they've gone from having 20 miles of electric range to maybe about 40, 45 electric range now, but still you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
It's great if you're running to the grocery store and back, but it's taking you just as much time to charge for that 40 miles as it takes to charge this for 300.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, being so new, like July will be my 1 year in Tesla, but it's like I agree with what you say. It's hard to look at gas vehicles the same. Because it's like you buy one, right? But no one really thinks about it. You maintain it. You pump gas every single week, no matter how you like, whether you like it or not. And it's like, if you look at the overall cost of a gas vehicle, let's just say in 5 years, I'd say you're like spending almost to a new vehicle with all that gas money.
Yeah, the only maintenance we've had to do is tires, cabin air filters.
Yep.
And our cars are 2 years old. I probably should have done it before that, but I mean, it's a 15-minute change.
Yeah.
And there's no oil changes every 5,000 miles. There's no, you know, depending on what model you get, there's no tire rotations every 5 to 10,000 miles. And especially like on the Cybertruck, the tires run pretty evenly. There's no reason to, you know, rotate them. That saves you money there.
Yeah.
You're not paying for the fluctuating gas. The electricity usually stays semi the same, no matter where you go.
Transition into that perfectly. How did you get into the Cybertruck? What made you want to do all this? I know that's a loaded question. Sorry.
I like the newest things.
Yeah. Same.
I like to be the first.
Yeah.
Or the second, because, you know, that one back there has got to be first. I just saw it and I was like, I like that. At the time that I ordered my Cybertruck, I had my Model, I think I just bought my Model Y. So I have a 2023 Model Y. I bought the 7-seat version.
Yeah.
And it was on our drive to LA. My husband and I were driving to LA to go on a cruise with the kids. And I was like, I just put a deposit on the Cybertruck. He's like, what?
Huh?
So, and then I ended up, because we didn't know how long it was going to take to get them, so I ended up giving my Model Y to my daughter, and I bought an X Plaid. So I drove the X Plaid for a year, ended up having to do a buyback for that, which came out fine. I mean, I got to drive the X Plaid for a year, and then I got my money back and got to get a truck. So, and then for me, the design is all, I've been doing it since before it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you go back on my Facebook, you'll find the first Prius I ever did. And it had Hello Kitty on the sides. I had a devil on one side, and I had an angel Hello Kitty on the other, and my entire hood was Hello Kitty's face.
Yeah.
So that was back before people were rapping, before, you know, it was the in thing to do. So I did that. The next Prius I had went Pokemon Go. It was our Pokemon Go. So we had all the Pokemon Go team designs all over it. So then we had the Mystery Machine Scooby-Doo van. Mm-hmm. We totally outfitted a van. And at one point we had a Twilight bus. So, and the designs kind of came about because I have such a big family. Yeah. And in my family, I have 4 autistic kids. At the time, I had a Down's and autistic stepdaughter. And so there were 9 of us at a time. Yeah. And so we needed the bigger vehicles. Well, the nice thing about wrapping them is it went from me getting all these kids out of the car and people staring at the kids because they were different, to people coming up and engaging with them and asking about their car, you know? And so it was kind of one of those, it totally changed a negative thing into a positive thing. Yeah. So instead of people looking at me going, I'm getting 8 kids out of the car, one attached to a feeding tube and oxygen, another one, you know, sitting on the ground, another couple of them doing whatever weird things they were doing at the time. You know, it went from people giving you a dirty look about that to seeing the car and engaging and going, oh, this is really cool. What made you do this? And, you know, it's kind of this, just turned a negative into a positive. And so it just kind of went from there.
Nice. The next question, Daniel, one thing I respect the heck out of you, getting to know you the couple times I've been seeing you recently, is what is your advice as a mom for all the moms out there? You're a badass mamma jamma. You get shit done.
It's really just, a lot of my kids have some kind of disability or other. We just adopted Winter. She's autistic as well. It's just, don't baby your kids. I don't baby my kids. Mackenzie, my 26-year-old, was born with what they thought was Apert syndrome, which then changed to Pfeiffer syndrome, which now we know genetically is a craniofacial disorder called Shader-Schotzen.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had her first surgery at 3 months old, where they basically cut her from ear to ear and rebuilt her entire head. She had no supraorbital rims, eyebrow bones. Her soft spot started here, went all the way back. So she had all of that exposed. And she'd been followed by San Francisco. And I think the best compliment I ever got was, your child should not be doing the things that she's doing. Whatever you've done, just keep doing it. Mm-hmm. And even though she was disabled, I never made it to where, oh, well, she can't do that because she's disabled. It's more of, all right, you can do it. Let's keep going. Let's keep trying. Going through the frustrations and all of that and figuring it out. If you baby them, they don't learn to do anything for themselves. And a lot of parents, helicopter parents, we have helicopter parents. We have all the parents that are afraid of their kids, doing this or that. And it's like, how are they going to learn? And how, if you baby them and you do everything for them. I do a lot for my kids. I mean, I've bought my kids their Teslas. I've bought my kids all of their cars. They have all had a brand new car at one point or another. But they go for things themselves. They're not afraid to go try and do things despite what society thinks they can't do because they're disabled.
Yeah.
So it's just, know your kids, man. It's you only get them. Somebody said something the other day. You only get your kids for 18 summers. 18 summers to make memories.
Yeah.
Before they're off on their own and doing their own things. So make the most of it and make sure that they are the best that they can be, because your job is only 18 years long. And then they have to do the next 30, 40, 50 years by themselves.
It's kind of a trip to think about. That's so short when you put it that way.
Yeah, when you think about 18 years, it's like, oh, that's forever. But when you think that you only have 18 Christmases, you have 18 Easters, you have 18 summers, it's not that many.
It isn't. Dang, Dan, you got me a little emotional about that one. When you put it in that aspect of 18, it's like, dang, you really, because now my son, he's 2. And when you put it in that retro, it's like, yeah,
You got 16 left, man.
Yeah.
16 left. What are you going to do with them?
But I do agree with the whole soft parenting thing. That's in the beginning. I mean, I feel like just with any first-time parent, you kind of get like that, and then you kind of realize you're like, this isn't who I am. And that's, for me at least, Sam and I, we realized, like, we don't want to do this. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And, we let him fall. We let him do what he wants, and for the most part. And when correction is needed, we do that, And
yeah. It's not letting your kids do dangerous things. Yeah. It's teaching your kids to do dangerous things safely.
Thank you. Yes.
So it's, don't stop them from climbing on the couch. Mm-hmm. When they're up there, show them how to safely get down.
Yes.
Because they're going to try stuff. They're going to do stuff that, you're like, oh my God, don't do that.
Yeah.
How are they going to learn?
Yep.
I mean, the kids that are riding motorcycles, I mean, they had to fall off 50 times before they finally were able to drive in a straight line, 20 feet.
Exactly.
But if you don't let them have that opportunity to do dangerous things safely or under, your watch, then they get afraid to do things.
Yep.
And none of us want to be afraid to do things. We want them to live their life to the fullest.
Yeah. Where my mind goes, like, kind of like break that trust with them, right? It's like, well, my mom never made me do this, or I couldn't do this, right? That's what I think of. Like, that made me like think of like elementary school, where I would do something and my friend would be like, my mom would be pissed if I did that. I'm like, wait, what? Like, we're just throwing the ball at the wall. I definitely feel that, because like in my childhood, they're my friends. I would do things or they would do things, and we would look at each other like, we can't do that at home. That's weird. And now being a parent, it makes me realize, like, yeah, parenting is for sure everything. And I feel like at times people forget about that when their kids do certain things. And like, my mom always says, you're a reflection of your kids. And I'm such a huge, firm believer in that. And that's why I respect what you do. That's why I tagged along. I think this is my first time, right? Going to do a delivery with you?
Yep.
So, that's why I wanted to ask you that question, because I always admire what you do for your family from afar.
And your kids are going to watch you. So you think that your kids aren't watching this or that. They see everything. They see everything. And they may not be able to process it, but they see it. And they remember and they know. It's, and it's also a difference. I was raised Gen X. We were outside. We were thrown outside from the moment the sun came out, and we weren't allowed back in the house until the evening. We didn't sit and watch TV. We were, I was going into strangers' houses. I lived in a freaking complex. I'd go knock on a stranger's door to sell them something. I'd be in their house for 30 minutes. My mom didn't know where I was. You would, people panic now. It's, you don't want somebody to talk to a stranger. I'm like, bro, I was going into strangers' houses and they were giving me snacks, bro. Yeah. I'm like, it's a different time and a different world. I get it, but I'm still going to let my kids have those experiences, because every experience you have, good or bad, creates the person you become.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, because I was in that last era of like, I still dealt with AOL Messenger. I still dealt with my mom yelling at me to get off the computer so she could use the phone. So, like, my older sister and I always talk about those eras, and she's like, I'm so thankful we got to go through that, because that's when times were more simpler. And yeah, you're right. People were outside more. Kids were outside more.
Well, came home, latchkey kids. We came home at 6 years old and watched ourselves until our parents came home from work.
Yes.
And now people are acting like, kids can't be by themselves at 16 because, oh my God, it's like, no.
Yeah.
My kids are all self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They are all, to a degree, for their age, self-sufficient. Even the ones that are behind mentally are still self-sufficient for the most part.
Yep.
And it's because they need to be. They need to know, what they can and can't do on their own. They need to experience. They need to experience all the things so they know, hey, I can't accomplish this right now. It's something I need to work on more.
Yep.
And then your job as a parent is to help them figure that out. Help them figure out how they can get from point A to point B. Since they can't quite figure it out by themselves, then take them by the hand, show them. Because once you show them, then they can do it.
Yep.
So.
Well, guys, we're going to end up at our first supercharger stop. I appreciate you, Dani. I really, really, really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm glad we ended it with parenting, because parenting is very important. And anyways, guys, we're going to park. I'm going to let the Wicked Cybertruck do its thing. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.